I declare open the Leicester Council Legal and Social Issue Committee public hearing for inquiry into the rental and housing affordability crisis.
We have 6 rental properties in rural Victoria. It's our investment, basically family investment, and it's our only investment. We don't have other investments. We found it increasingly more difficult to be landlords over the years because regulations, while you can see why the regulations are being created, it affects everybody who's renting properties, and it can be affect us in a very adverse way.
The Victorian Government urgently needs to change the approach of punishing rental providers for providing rental homes. Rental providers should be incentivised for contributing to our rental housing market. Currently, we are seeing a troubling trend in West Gippsland and Latrobe Valley where rental providers are divesting their residential rental homes, and new owners who are purchasing them are not re-renting them out.
Around about 175,000 properties that have been removed from the rental market. On balance to that, the REA.com have figures that are a little bit rubbery, but it's around about 5 to 6% of their purchasers are investors. So we have around about 25 to 27% of investors are leaving the market, and only about 6% are coming back in.
We absolutely welcome safe and quiet enjoyment of properties, but we also are having experiences where it's very difficult, and you heard from the property managers beforehand in terms of not being able to get rent paid, to have to wait 3 to 4 months to evict a tenant, to have a warning first, second, third, then a reissuing of the right to pay. They're gamifying some tenants, and we've always got to be respectful here. There's about 670,000 rental properties in Victoria, right? And 95% of those contracts go well.
Investors typically would want something that has got a long-term stable cash flow. So we're talking about investors that currently own office buildings, shopping centres, industrial warehouses, those types of things. Long-term stable cash flow is what they want. The residential market in Australia, long-term stable cash flows. The upper end of the market is not as deep. If we could go to the middle range of the market or lower end of the market, that depth of pool of renters is a lot larger. They would absolutely go there.
What we've seen through our expertise in the US, which is a much more mature market from rental housing perspective, is that there's a lot more projects in the middle ring suburbs, lower rise, sort of 3-level walk-up apartments built from timber framing, so it's cheaper to build, and that also has less amenities. And so what that means is you can deliver, those units more cost effectively, so the rents are actually lower.
We know where some of our suburbs people are having to commute up to 3 hours to work and back, that the outcomes for their children's educational outcomes for family stress, depression, and health in terms of diet, etc., all goes down the toilet in those circumstances. So the question of housing in the right locations to drive better lives is step number 1 in that decision-making framework for this committee.